A financial crisis is characterized by a steep decline in asset prices, failure to pay debts, and financial institutions experiencing liquidity shortages. And while the phenomenon can have a plethora of causes, the main culprits usually include: Number 1. Complementaries. Successful investment requires investors to guess what others will do. Furthermore, in many cases, investors have incentives to coordinate their choices. Economists call this complementary. If people or firms have a sufficiently strong incentive to do the same thing they expect others to do, then a vicious circle starts, which may lead to a crash down the road. Number 2. Leverage. Leverage, which means borrowing to finance investments, is another contributor to financial crises. When a financial institution or an individual only invests its own money, it can, in the worst case, lose its own money. But when it borrows in order to invest more, it can potentially lose more than all it has. Therefore, leverage, although magnifies the potential returns from investment, can also create a risk of bankruptcy. Number 3. Asset-liability mismatch. Another factor believed to contribute to financial crisis is an asset-liability mismatch. This is often a situation in which the risks linked to an institution's debts and assets are not aligned. For instance, many governments are unable to sell bonds denominated in their own currencies and therefore sell the ones denominated in US dollars. This generates a mismatch between the currency denomination of the liabilities and their assets, therefore leading to defaults. Number 4. Regulatory failures. Regulation by governments achieves transparency, as well as making sure institutions have sufficient assets to meet their contractual obligations. And while some financial crises have been blamed on insufficient regulation, excessive regulation has also led to the same. Number 5. Uncertainty and herd behavior. Crises often follow after major financial or technical innovations that present investors with new types of financial opportunities. If the first investors in a new class of assets profit from rising asset values, the other investors follow their example, driving the price of the said asset even higher. If such herd behavior causes prices to spiral up far above the true value of the assets, a crash may become inevitable. Plug and Mine helps you out of the financial crisis.